Hello everyone, welcome to another episode. My name is Sunil Kalbandi. In this video, I'm going to cover 10 things you shouldn't be buying. So, staying below means is a matter of principle for me. It's not like I'm compromising my lifestyle, but I like to stay within my means as much as possible. So, things which is not going to bring me extra joy or things doesn't make any difference in my life, I try to cut it down or not buy anything. So if this is not a video to make you look rich, this is a video which will help you be rich. So number one thing I would avoid buying is an expensive car. Brand new cars, especially the moment it leaves the car center or the showroom, it loses about 10%, and within a year, a high-end car will lose up to 60% of the value. That's just unbelievable amount of depreciation. So me and my wife, we both have cars, but the cars we buy are over 6 or 7 years old, and it's already at the very tail end of the depreciation. So it just runs just fine. We don't do many miles, and then we buy enough so that we can pay upfront without any mortgages or any car finance, and it's a very cheap car, which is safe, and for us it's a very utilitarian purpose. It goes from point A to point B. That's the purpose of the car. And we got young kids, so we need some space, and we live outside the city, so we can't always rely on public transport, so we buy cheap cars just from point A to point B, and then we buy mass production cars like Vauxhall or Nissan and Skoda and other things here in UK. So they are comparatively cheaper to fix if something breaks, which will eventually, but don't buy expensive cars. Number two is impulsive buying. Impulsive buying could be item on sale as a big example. If you want to buy something nice, and if it's on a sale, then it's a good deal. But if you want to buy something just because it's on the sale, it's a big no-no for us. So I tend to buy a good pair of shoes every few years, and I tend to use shoes for at least 2 or 3 years. So I have 2 or 3 pairs. I buy a good pair, but only once it's almost at the end of its life, or it's not worth repairing it. We don't have a lot of space. We want to have I don't want the clutter, and then also I just want to buy shoes which I'm not thinking too much. So I know that's the shoes I'm wearing, and it's fine. So another thing within impulsive buying is extended warranty. So we might never use anything which is like over 2 years. We might lose a receipt, or we don't even know where to find it. So anything which says, do you want to subscribe for an extended warranty? I would definitely avoid extended warranty. Same goes with designer clothes. Same goes with designer clothes or fast fashion goods. So I'm a big no-no for fast fashion goods and other things. So number three on the list is buying a big house or an expensive house. So we are just outside Cambridge. If you're interested, you can see how much we spend. This is not a big house. This is big enough for us to live. It's a comfortable house. But I understand there's benefits by just renting, but also this house is not so expensive that it kind of justifies buying a house. That's my opinion. So you don't want to buy a house which is like a golden shackle. So you want to buy just enough so that you're comfortable in staying, and you can grow some fruits and vegetables, fruit trees and other things which in rental property you can't do. So this is not buying an expensive house. You want to but if you're investing into a rental property or commercial property which brings more money, then more the merrier. That's a completely different idea than buying a house just for you to stay. And then also I want to add, if you're trying to buy a car and other things, you want to buy an asset which can buy a car. That's a better proposition than just buying a car or buying a expensive house. Number four is the latest tech. So you and I, we know there's every 6 months there is always something new. For years I used 4 or 5 generation old phones, but I upgraded to a latest one is just because I started doing videos. So that was a necessity. That's the only reason I bought an upgraded. I have a Pixel 6, not a Pixel 8. That's good enough for my videos and other things. That was the only reason why I paid an upfront for a latest tech. So I'm never buying any latest tech every 6 months, 7 months. I hardly use few apps, and the few apps what I use, the banking and other things, are perfectly fine with the older version phone. So um, paying 100 extra or 1,000 extra for latest tech is something worthwhile. I would rather use that money to spend holiday with my family and other things. So number 4 or number 5 is gifts. We have a limit on how much gift we buy, and also we don't buy gifts for every occasion. So we have an understanding. For us, is like me and my wife, we are married for almost 16 years now, 15 years now. We rather have a holiday with the family, with the kids, than have a gift. So we try to do is the gift we want to do is go out for a holiday and other things. So for us, is like we are always trying to avoid gifts or buying unnecessary souvenirs or junk which we have to carry back and then look after other things. So no souvenirs, no gifts. Uh, but kids, they tend to buy few things, but we are looking for a used item or a marketplace, things which they know they will appreciate it, and then also it's bought at a discount. Number 7 is things which don't invest into things which you don't understand. So it could be crypto, or the haze at the moment is about the AI, talking about what to buy, what not to buy, and other things. So I like to spend some time on understanding what I know before I putting in my money. And so I wouldn't buy something I don't understand. That's the number. Is it 6 or 7? And this is another small thing. My haircut and my shaving, I tend to do at home. Haircut, my wife gives me a haircut. I've been having a haircut at home for almost 7 years now. It's just a principle. I don't like spending on haircuts. I don't like. I'm not advocating being cheap. I'm just saying it's not something which I hugely value. That I know understand it needs to look decent, but haircuts, shaves, and these are something which I generally ask my wife to do it, and the shaving and other things I do it. So it's not something I do it to impress others. It's just hygiene, and that's something I do. Number 7 or number 8, buying used toys and using library for the books, and mainly for my kids, especially I got young kids. There's a certain amount of expenses goes into looking after the kids and other things. So I tend to buy all the indoor toys from a marketplace or eBay or cardboard sales here in UK. And if there is anything outdoor, because I got twin boys, I am sometimes forced to buy them new ones because they want exactly the same thing. So it's a hassle. If it was just one kid, probably I would have been happy doing things. So I tend to do um, internal to all the toys what they need on a used marketplace, and then also books from library. So the books from library extends to me as well. So I used to buy a lot of books. These days I'm a bit mindful about the things I want. I usually buy a Kindle or an audiobook, and then I usually go to a library. So there's multiple 3 or 4 libraries. Even if there is not a copy, you can request for a copy, and then they usually get a copy of the book you need. So they're very good at it. Just also, it's an exciting thing for my kids to go to the library, and then every time they go in, they have their own library card. They know how to scan the barcode, get this barcode, and then get the books back. It's an experience, and then they are always eager to read those books as soon as possible and then return it back. I mean, it's a fantastic. I think if you can get the kids to go to a library excited, I think you're, in my opinion, you're a good parent. So number 9, this is regarding travel. So our biggest expenses, if you are interested in how much we spend, have a look at the video here. Our biggest expenses are travel. But just because we spend on travel, but there are also certain things we don't spend on travel, is like we avoid taxis if it's in the daylight or if it's too expensive. If it's the night, we prefer going the taxi just because of the safety, but we tried avoiding taxis, use public transport, avoid fancy restaurants, and then we try to do packed meals at least once a day from your home, and then expensive resorts and other things. So we book a Airbnb which is moderate, nothing expensive. Sometimes if it's summer, we look for a communal pool or near the beach. We are very careful about what we spend. Our goal is to enjoy a new place, new culture, and expand our horizon, but not trying to impress somebody. So we just buy local things and random things. So number 10 is unhealthy food or unhealthy items. So it could be, if you're a smoker, stop smoking. Super expensive. When I don't smoke, my wife doesn't smoke, we never smoke, but this is for people, they're looking at it. And on average, a pack in UK costs about 10 quid, and people smoke at least a pack a day, or I don't know how much you spend. You're spending about hundreds of pounds just on smoking. And another rule we do is we don't buy alcohol at home. So it's a treat for us to go when we are on a holiday or when we are with friends and other things. We tend to have a drink with them. But at house, we don't generally buy alcohol. It's expensive. And then also, I tend to stick with beer or water. So those are the kind of things we avoid: taxis, expensive fast foods, resorts, and junk food. So we have a limit on how much junk foods we buy. So I'm a culprit, but we tend to not buy too much for me and for my wife and for my kids. So hopefully, and again, the whole emphasis is about trying to save that money, even though if it's an upfront struggle for us, or maybe it's a discomfort for us, but that knowing that the money will be invested and then we can enjoy a better life as we are growing old, it's a beautiful compromise for me. So I think there's a guy, Jesse Gregorick, I heard it on Tim Ferriss show. Easy choices, hard life; hard choices, easy life. I think it hits a ring in my head. It's like, you want to make some conscious decisions, especially like impulsive buying and other things. If you can't control your impulse to buy a random thing, how are you going to have the discipline to invest into something for a longer time? So I'm all about not trying to impress others, all about having the means necessary to enjoy the things what I like to enjoy and my family, and leading a meaningful life. I hope this top 10 things inspired you, or at least helped you to visualize what is important in your life. Uh, Consider subscribing and liking this video so that I can forward this video to a bigger audience. Till next time, thank you and keep watching.